Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/JustNoMil. In today's episode, stepmom destroys my fiancé's dead cousin's wedding dress, thinking it was mine. Yesterday, my JustNoMil admitted to stealing my postpartum pain meds, 5 months later. MIL has changed entire opinion of me. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Stepmom destroys my fiancé's dead cousin's wedding dress, thinking it was mine. A little background: my fiancé's cousin passed away in an accident on her honeymoon around 6 years ago. Her husband couldn't stand being around wedding gifts, decor, mementos, etc., so everything wedding related was split between family members. My fiancée was very close to her cousin and was her most about her wedding dress. It sat in our closet. My fiancé sometimes took it out to look at but has never planned on wearing it. My fiancé's cousin was a similar shape and size to me, and the dress has been kept pristine so it wouldn't be too big of a leap to assume the dress was mine. We fell out with my dad and stepmom over multiple manipulations, including taking money from my grandparents, who thought it was going to my hospital bills. This falling out led to them being evicted by my grandfather after years of living rent-free. We've been getting a barrage of online abuse since this, but since they're halfway across the world, we didn't think it would spill over into the real world. My stepmom flew over to talk it out in person. Unfortunately, we were on a date when she got there, and the only person in was my college friend who was crashing on our couch. She opened the door and stepmom pushed past, yelling and throwing a fit. She shut herself in our room and threw stuff around. Nothing was damaged beyond repair until she raided the closet and found the dress. She had barricaded the door, and by the time we got home to deal with the situation, she was screaming something about how I can't get married without a dress. We didn't think about the dress in the closet in the moment and wondered what she was talking about, as I don't have my dress yet. We called the police, and when they took her away, we finally realized what she was talking about. Fiancé's cousin's dress is in shreds. My fiancée is devastated and her family are upset too. None of them blame me, but I feel like it's my fault for bringing my stepmom into their lives. I'm trying to help my fiancé through this and the grief it's brought up, as well as putting in precautions to protect ourselves and our home. My stepmom is still being detained, so my dad is creating multiple accounts to harass us. My fiancée is saying that she's actually glad I wasn't home when stepmom got there because she might have tried to hurt me, but the loss of something so sentimental is really hitting her hard. Cloth roses. I have a dozen roses made out of my mom's wedding dress in a vase that was my grandmother's. It's what I plan on doing with my mom's wedding dress, since it wasn't in great shape when I found it after her passing. Oh, this is a lovely idea. A way to turn something horrific into something beautiful. And they could be displayed somewhere special. Just so you know, she can be served while she's being detained. If they haven't given you a temporary restraining order, you can call the arresting officer and ask for the DA's number for the prosecutor to apply for one when she goes in front of the judge. It would include nobody being allowed to contact you on her behalf like your father. She would face additional charges. I'm so sorry, and I hope you know you are in no way responsible for this unstable person's behavior. Thank you so much. I love when the Reddit legal eagles come to the rescue. Once the dress is properly photographed by the police for the case, take photos of your own for evidence. Then send it to a wedding dressmaker, ask them to document the damage and write a thorough written quote for repairs. Honestly, it'll probably be more than a new dress cost, but that's not the point. This is sentimental. If it's damaged beyond repair, have the written quote reflect that. Give the quote to the police. Also take it to a lawyer. Also look into getting a RO on both stepmom and your dad. Their behavior is appalling and needs to stop. This is so unhinged. So violently out of control I'm unable to breathe deeply. I feel your hurt and rage and I'm so sorry. Make as much trouble for her as you can. And your friend is correct. She might have hurt you. Press charges. How awful. My heart is breaking for all of you guys, especially her and her cousin's husband. He may have wanted to see that at some point. Update. Press charges, restraining order against both. I am so sorry this lunatic destroyed this sentimental dress. May she rot in a prison cell. Make sure she suffers consequences for that. Press charges and do not back down. Absolutely. If the dress was worth enough, she could get felony charges for property destruction. Keep all the texts from them and present them to the cops to get harassment charges against your dad with the goal of a RO for them both. I think the cousin would smile at the fact that her dress protected OP's real dress. Her way of helping with the wedding. Love this. The wedding dress may not be fixable, but I'm wondering, could you gather the scraps and find a seamstress to make something of the dress? Whether it's a covering for a photo album, maybe photos of the cousin and memories, or something else. Something that can be kept as a memento yet? We're going to try to do something with it in a while, once the dust has settled. The ring bearer's pillow can be made from the scraps. This is one of the saddest things I have ever read. I am so sorry this happened to the both of you and to your fiancé's family. How awful. It is so not your fault. You had every reason to believe the dress was safe in your home, and even if you'd had it lying around in the open when you knew she might pop over at any time, you were the victim of an actual crime here, and that is never your fault. The dress would still be fine if your stepmom hadn't actively chosen to commit a crime. I hope you're able to make something wonderful out of the scraps. Hugs to you and everyone involved except your horrible stepmom, of course. Yesterday, my JustNoMil admitted to stealing my postpartum pain meds, 5 months later. Which is so ironic, because last August her relationship with my mom ended due to her accusing my mom of stealing her pain medication, which was false because I was a witness to the interaction that led to the accusation. She also called my sister to blame my mom, which is a whole other story. There are many, but this one is just too ironic for me. My husband and I have been moved away from our hometown for 3 years and the separation has been nice. However, we're moving back in 2 weeks and I'm just not excited about JustNoMil being so close. I feel like I can't tell my husband to go and see because it's his family, even though there are several reasons for him to. ETA, he's by no means a mama's boy. He confronts her on everything and doesn't trust her himself, but he can't completely cut her even though he's been through a lot because of her. She'll ignore us for a month over petty arguments, apparently now steal medication, hide major surgeries from us and then blame us for not knowing about it because we don't care. I say hide because I was texting her and actually randomly FaceTimed her the day she was in the hospital waiting for her surgery, but she didn't mention having surgery when texting and she denied my FaceTime call because she didn't want me to see her in the hospital. She wanted to play the victim later and blame us for not knowing. After she was home and recovered, she literally said, "I would have told you if you would have asked me how I was doing?" What? Anyway, it's hard because she wasn't always JustNoMil. We used to be friends and she still does nice things when she visits, like laundry and dishes, and she loves our daughter, but I don't know how much more I can handle. Your MIL is a thirleth and from the looks of it addicted to pain pills. Tell me again why you would put your daughter in a position to be around an addict? Especially a lying addict. You're right. Thank you for putting it to me plainly. I think emotions and how manipulative she can be has kind of blinded me to reality. Sometimes I think I'm the one overreacting to her and her behavior, but that's not truth at all. No matter what, she stole your medication. There is no justification. She tampered with your health. Ask your DH what would he say or feel if you had done that to her. No excuses. Trust has not only been broken. It has been destroyed. She tried to justify by saying she was hurting from helping us clean our house and make our bed, but, you're right, there is absolutely no justification for that. I don't know that our relationship will ever be the same. Look, just because you DH isn't NC doesn't mean you can't. And if you're not going to be around her, neither is Lo. She stole pain medication from you. She doesn't care about you, and if this is going to act, I wouldn't trust her with my kids. So my kids wouldn't be around her. I don't care how well close they live. Mil comes over announced. Don't let her in. She calls ahead. Get your child and go out for the day. Block her on everything and have her deal with DH and make it clear to him you want nothing to do with her. She should be happy you're not calling the cops for stealing your medication. So she's an addict? I knew an addict that once left their infant with a passed out drunk to go get their fix. They're not safe around children at all. And she committed a felony, so I would not want to see her either. Yes, I should have mentioned she is an addict. That's wild. It's definitely time to try and set boundaries. We have in the past, but she's proven she has no problem breaking them, so we'll see. She's an addict. Please consider that she only does nice stuff when she comes over, so you keep letting her in your house so she keeps her opportunities for theft open. This is a very serious and that needs to be addressed with her DRs, a therapist, and an addiction specialist. I am not excusing her behavior. For you and your household, I would suggest that until she receives 1. Treatment from primary care, a therapist, and an addiction program, that she does not need to be anywhere near you or your children in home, that is your safe space, and she has stolen from you already. This is for your and their safety. If she has a substance, even one pill, that is not prescribed to her in her possession, then please look laws for you areas and see how that could affect you, your job, and how that could open the door to CPS. It's not pretty, and I have seen family torn apart over it. 2. Your partner needs to be the one, sounds like he has a handle on it, to be the one to start the process of saying either you get help or we are stepping back. We have to protect ourselves. You need to back away from this fire as fast as you can. I know you said she was nice at one point, but please remember, this person who is in front of you is a different person. It is a person who needs treatment, help, and who needs to want to change. And until they do, then you as a mother and a person have the right and deserve to be safe, feel safe in your home, and to protect your children from possible dangerous situations. Please read on. There are many other Reddits that have had family members under the influence who have been harmed, or things stolen. These types of red flags you are describing need to be taken seriously. I hope that your Mil is able to get the help she needs, but I think it would be best for you and the children to be kept at the distance. In no way should they ever be used as a form of therapy or reward for good behavior. I only say this to hopefully give you advice and send you support. I refuse to feel guilty about not knowing what you refuse to tell me. Exactly. All I could do was laugh, because we found out about her surgery through an Instagram picture that she posted. She has used Instagram several times to be passive-aggressive. She'd never cross the threshold of my doorway ever again. I wouldn't allow her anywhere near me after that kind of BS. MIL has changed entire opinion of me. I am new to this sub, but after having a read through some of the previous posts, I thought my MIL's behavior would fit perfectly. I have been with my partner since we were in uni 7 years ago. Since we left uni, we have been long distance due to their firm attachment to their mother. I would firmly put my partner in the mummy's boy category. Me and my MIL have always been on what I had thought was quite even polite ground. We have never had any sort of disagreement, and I have yet to be in a position where I have offended her. I cannot say the same the other way around. Previously, she had mentioned to my partner that she liked me because I was independent, strong, friendly, and never asked my partner for a penny. If we ever do anything together, we split it 50-50. It's no matter what, which she had previously said she had respected me for, as I was not using him for his money. During the past 2 odd years, my partner has decided to buy a house, deciding that they would like to buy a house near his parents, read mother, even though it would be very expensive to do so in that area, and many miles away from where I was living. They even refused to look further afield just in case they offended MIL. They gained their parents' help with the deposit to help with the mortgage because the house is 20 minutes away from theirs and is in an expensive part of the country. Since this happened, her opinion has changed about me. After 7 years of a relationship and meeting at uni, where I had more money than my partner, I am a gold digger who could not possibly see beyond that my partner is now a homeowner in an expensive area. Upon finding out that we were thinking of moving in together, already decided we were but had not told her, she decided to tell my partner that if she had known that they had planned to move someone into their property, they would never have considered helping my partner get a property at all, and expressed their sincere disappointment that my partner would dream of living with me. I was obviously deeply offended by this. My partner came to visit me, and due to me living within 3 hours of their grandparents, decided we would visit them during their time with me. My partner does not see them often due to distance, plus me and their grandmother get along very well. MIL had decided upon hearing this plan that she must visit her parents during the exact time me and my partner were going to be there, which was not ideal 3 days after I learnt of MIL's comments. The plan was to go out to brunch with the grandparents. MIL decided to change the plan and make brunch at the grandparents' house, then made comments about me behind my back to myself, but loud enough that I could hear them. Jury is out if MIL knew I could hear or not. Long story short, I left rather irritated by MIL. Me and my partner are moving in together in about a week's time. While I have been honest with my family and they all know, I have left it up to my partner to tell their family what they like. They have decided to be a people pleaser and has decided not to tell their parents anything about the move-in to avoid the confrontation with MIL. My ILs had tried to sell their house and move halfway between my partner and her parents, but have failed to do so due to their buyer. This has put pressure on my partner, who had hoped their parents would have moved before I moved in. Not sure what my partner has planned if they want to come over after I move in. Maybe banish me to my local Wetherspoons? Not that I wouldn't prefer that to spending time with MIL. I am not really sure where I go from here. Do I pretend it is not a problem, that I am essentially a secret? Do I confront MIL about what she has been saying? I am at a loss, really. Do not move in with him. You will not win. You don't have a MIL problem, you have a huge so problem. This won't get better, he will not change, and all that will happen is your investment in this relationship will get stickier and more difficult to untangle when you do move in and eventually have children. I strongly suggest you rethink bringing kids into such an enmeshed toxic environment. You'll be far from your support group, surrounded by people who enable this woman, and your so will always put her first. His mother didn't see you as a forever person. Now that she does, she's pissed and he's going to lie to placate her. Don't move and W him. He's hiding you, and you could find yourself very homeless if his mom says to put you out on the street. He might do it. And you know it. Run. You're not married. No children. No financial entanglements. You can get out with nothing more than a learning experience. If they aren't strong enough to tell their mother you're moving in and they want a future with you, they are not strong enough to have a good future with you. Your partner would rather hurt you so that they can please their mother. Consider this. If you don't run now, you're going to be writing again in a year crying that you made a huge mistake moving in with such coward. Please find someone man enough to stand up for you. Your so is the bigger problem here. He thinks he can say whatever his mother wants to hear, nod, accept her money, go along with what she wants. He doesn't seem to have a plan for you showing up and coming into the mix. Does she think the house is hers? Is she going to show up unannounced? Does she have keys? Is she going to mess with decor you chose? Throw away or reorganize your stuff? I'd be very clear with him about your boundaries for the house, and clear about consequences. Know what you won't tolerate and what will be the end for you. Your so has no proven record of putting his mother in her place, and you're moving into the lion's den. You don't have a MIL problem, you have an so problem. None of this is normal, none of this is okay, and this dynamic will never change. Do you really need to live like this day in and day out for the next 50 years? Don't move in with someone who won't tell their family. Yep. Runnin' from this train wreck. He will never put you first. You deserve a man, not a mama's boy. Frankly, the only thing worse than spending 7 years with this mama's boy is spending 7 years and one more day. While you may indeed have a MIL problem, it is dwarfed by the massive so problem you have. You might want to go over to JustNoMil to see what they think. Personally, I wouldn't be too happy about being treated like someone's dirty little secret, but your mileage may vary. If it were me, I would not move in, and I would seriously rethink whether this is a person I want to have in my life as a partner. I mean, this is the person who you will need to be able to trust completely to have your back any time in the future that things are dangerous or have in some way gone sideways: illness, financial problems, car accidents, childbirth, if you have any kids. Do you think you can really do that with this person? If not, then this is a relationship that should not advance because they are not capable of having a truly adult relationship and you deserve no less. Not to mention if they decide to have kids. That they will put their parents in place if overstep as grandparents. Why would you want to be the side piece in your SO's marriage to his mother? If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.